Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Casters and Castles Tales from the Golden Morrow, a Monday night one shot. My name is Al Stover, Ellis writes. I'm going to be the DM for this evening. But enough about me in this adventure. Magicmouth is missing. Let's introduce our wonderful players. Starting with ArynRozelle.
Yes, hi, I'm Aryn. Do you want me to introduce the character too?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll be playing Flitty McLinden, and they are a sage cleric. And they use they them pronouns. Is that it?
Okay. Next
Are we
up,
just doing?
yeah, MsPixieRiot.
That would be me. Hi, I'm Pixie. I'm a TTRPG creator and sometimes DM on this channel. Tonight I am bringing out Rune, who is the first human character that I've ever played. And as a sad 19-year-old, very goth College of Spirits bard, he's definitely a mix of myself and all of my high school friends. So we're gonna throw it back to those days of black eyeliner and listening to The Cure.
Good taste. And let's go ahead diagonal into Casanova.
Hello, I'm Casanova, or Cass. I'm a play-by-play caster, host, and producer. I will be playing Dazarin Mavic today, a gnome inquisitive rogue who sees himself as something for a journalist, but he just writes for very terrible magazines.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Zoe.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm playing Vincent Renard, let me get this right. A shadow magic sorcerer. I go by he, him pronouns in this scenario. Very curious, yet somewhat dim character. As for me, Zoe, I am a TTRPG freelancer. Right now I am doing a couple of things with Casters and Castles, which I'm super stoked about, and happy to be here.
If I can just pop in for a second, Leg says that we have doubled audio right now. You might need to, Ali, you might need to mute your Video Ninja tab.
All right.
You're probably getting our audio through there and through OBS.
Yes. Very real quick. Okay. We did it.
All right, excellent. That
Awesome.
should do the thing.
And yes, back to me. My name is Al. This is my first time DMing on Casters and Castle, like I said. Also, my first time producing and a lot of this stuff. So, crash course in technology, if you will. I am a writer, TTRPG creator, and player as well. And my camera isn't working, but if it was, you would see that I'm wearing a Dipper Pines hat. Tonight's adventure, Magicmouth is Missing, is one I wrote, and it's based a little bit on Gravity Falls. And centered around a roadside attraction in the Forgotten Realms. The village of Shining Falls, which is located in the Dilim Weir Vale. That's comprised of mostly halflings with some humans. And everyone tonight at some point had received a letter from the house's owner, Sylvia Magicmouth. Sylvia is what you remember is Sylvia as a hag, but she's not your typical hag who eats children and eats children and apologies for speaking. At some point you visited the house in your youth. She didn't try to eat you, but worse, she had you do chores. And at some point you received a letter. It says, "My dear," and it doesn't have your name. It just says, "My dear, Sylvia Magicmouth here. It's been a while since I last saw you. I'm sure you've grown up a lot since then. But that's not why I'm writing to you. I need you to stop by the house. I have a favor to ask, but I can't say what it is in this letter, as it could jeopardize the mystery house. I look forward to seeing you again. Your friend, Sylvia. And as you arrive, the house is as you remember it. 2-story wooden structure with several windows and no door. Windows are boarded to prevent onlookers and passersby from getting a free look inside of the building. There's a mix of stale bread and flowers that fills the air as people gather near the entrance, waiting for its host stores to open. To the left, you see a sign that says bottomless pit and a giant hole. Behind it is a food cart with delicious smelling, the smell of gristled meat and fermented drinks fill the air. At this point, you also recognize one of the regular employees, Sylvia's nephew Richter, who's a halfling. From the look of him, he's a ranger, and he sees you all and kind of beckons you toward him. And I know you kind of introduced your characters, but kind of describe them. What do they look like? What are any distinguishing features that they may have?
Well, Rune is fairly tall, just under 6 feet, and like very thin and gaunt and pale. All of that's been accentuated with the smudged eyeliner and dark lipstick, and his hair is like jet black and kind of slicked back, but then like curls a little bit at the back of his neck, and dressed all in black with various chains and medallions and black fingernails and like curling black tattoos that look almost but not quite like magical symbols. Anyone untrained would look at them and maybe think that they were magical. Anyone trained would look at them and be like, oh, that's complete gibberish. Kind of like when somebody gets a tattoo in a language they don't understand and it means something completely different. That sort of situation, but it is very much the aesthetic for him. He never looks very happy. He's always just kind of slowly moving around the town with a gloomy cloud over his head. But I think he probably, as a self-imposed outcast, enjoyed the fact as he was a child that this place is also very different.
Nice. Okay, so Dazarin, you'll see this this rock gnome kind of looks like he may be middle-aged, so he might have known Sylvia quite a long time ago. He's wearing kind of this long coat with a front pocket housing, which looks like a couple loose cigarettes, and he's essentially got basically what looks like a fedora covering his like slicked back salt and pepper hair, aggressively receding hairline, and he has a soul patch complementing his face, which I can only describe his face as punchable. You can take that however you want. But it shows signs of sleep deprivation. He's got a crooked nose that looks like it's been broken a couple of times and never healed just right. And he just kind of has this air about him that you probably just don't want to talk to this guy.
So Vincent, he's likewise to almost kind of like an opposite of Rune. Tall, gaunt, but wearing kind of the attire of a couple of previous generations, like something that would have been in fashion maybe 50 years ago. Lace cuffs coming out, peeking, that sort of thing. He has bright red hair, but in stark contrast to that is not makeup per se, but he looks very gaunt and sickly, but still holds himself as someone of like prestige a little bit. Confidence. Just a little strange looking.
And Flitty, you're done, right?
Oh yes, I'm done.
Okay, making sure.
I'm all
Yeah. Flitty is very tall, around 8 feet, you would say. They have green hair, pink eyes, and gold skin. Um, and when you first glance at them, you notice immediately that everything is very tidy. They have like their bows on their belt, very neat, and there's also kind of an air of superiority, but they're not trying to be superior. What else? As a character trait, they speak in a Scottish accent sometimes, nothing to do with the fact that I can't do one very well. Um, but yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, Richter kind of gathers you all up. He's like, "Oh, good, good, you're here." And he kind of eyes Jasmine for a moment, and like touches his chin, almost. You'd think he might be a little jealous that he can't grow his own facial hair, but he's like, okay. He's like, you can't say anything, but Sylvia's missing. We can't find her. You know, it's hoping that you could find her for us. My sister and I are going to be running the we'll run the house, but if you can just kind of investigate and look for clues. And he's like, yeah, you can start here. He goes, Alundra in the garden statue outback might know. Maybe check the bottomless pit or the food cart.
So did you write this then? And I pull out my letter from Sylvia saying, please come to the house.
He kind of sheepishly looks. He's like, I wrote it, but she dictated it. Hence the lack of the name. She sent these out to multiple people, but you are the first 4 that responded, or really the only 4 who responded.
I mean, did you check the bottom of the pit? I imagine, there's gotta be a bottom. Realistically, this couldn't possibly be a bottomless pit. And she's gotta be just hiding down there.
We checked a couple days ago, but yeah, we checked, but she hasn't been there.
So it does.
It's one of the first things we would have checked, but I mean, Bob might know more than I do. But...
Bob? Who is Bob?
Bob is he runs the pit. And if you want to make a history / retroactive investigation check, you can go ahead and do that.
Sure. Let's go with history. Ugh, that's a 7.
Let's see. And I apologize. What was your race again?
It is Asimir.
Okay. You vaguely remember kind of meeting Bob, and when you first met him, you were almost on guard. You were kind of a little uncomfortable, but you got to know him a little better. He's like, okay, he's not so bad. So.
Yes, I remember Bob. Can't seem to picture his face though. Maybe we should go try to see him.
No,
guess.
Go ahead.
No, you take it.
I was always kind of afraid of the bottomless pit as a kid. Let's proceed with caution, maybe. I don't know. I don't really want to go in.
I can't imagine that she'd be down there. I mean, people throw stuff in there like all the time. So if there is a bottom, being at the bottom would really suck.
That's true. There's all kinds of garbage down there. Terrifying.
Are there? I assume there are safety measures like a rope or something to keep us from going to the bottom.
Look, as long as I remember, there wasn't even a guardrail. They just had you walk right up to the edge, and Bob would hold you over it and be like, he'd start yelling at you. It's terrifying, man. Realistically, but I'm sure he's probably eased up in his old age.
Well, there is a sign. It says "Do not jump in," but.
Well, what if you say the back of the sign? Not very helpful, is it?
Well, no, you can't stop curious people, especially little kids.
Is Bob at the bottom right now?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And as you're kind of talking, guests are walking by, and he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, kind of pushing them along, like yeah. And if someone gets too close, no, I don't know what you mean. There's no bottomless pit. That's what makes it a bottomless pit. It's kind of one thing you remember about the house is that there are some artifacts that are not what they seem. And Sylvia's pretty frugal and pretty, some would say a con woman.
What was that? A compliment?
Con.
Gone woman.
Someone, and as you're kind of talking, someone kind of brings in a skull and they show it to Richter and say, "Is this really a skull of a demon king? Oh, you must have had a terrible battle." And Richter's like, yes, it is. And clearly you look at it and it's not. It looks like just a normal animal skull that has been enlarged. But he passes it off as actually being,
All right. Well, I guess since I haven't met any of you all, should introduce myself. I'm Dazzler Mavic, editor-in-chief at the Nowhere to Hide magazine. Where, like werewolf, get it? It's a lot like, we just look after everything that goes bump in the night. Anything that could be in your very own backyard, myths or legends. I've never failed to get to the bottom of a scoop, and I'm down to get to the bottom of that pit. Try and start figuring this out.
You just said there was no bottom.
There's always a bottom.
It's always
Oh, it
something to discover.
And Richter goes, you could also talk to Alundra. She runs the garden statue in the back. You might have seen something. And he points to the food cart. Artemis and Rena over there could have seen something too.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Your name again was Davrin,
Dazzler.
correct? Dazrin. Yes. I'm Flitty. I'm Flitty McLinden. Pleasure to meet you all. I saw this and, I haven't been to this house in a while and thought I'd visit.
Yes, manners. I'm Vincent Renard of the Renard household. You may have heard of us. You may not have. I really can't say. I can't read your minds. But it is a pleasure to meet you. I ventured here in my youth with my parents. It's kind of a horror show at the time. I don't know if it's changed since then, but I remember leaving feeling quite disconcerted. But still, pleasure to meet all of you.
And I'm Rune. I came here because I really like this place. Something about it is just very comforting.
Yeah, really, I was always just trying to prove that Sylvia actually did eat children, but, hey, look, that's neither here nor there. We gotta find her first if I'm gonna get to the bottom of that one as well.
Yes.
I was never eaten here. I can testify that if you want.
Neither was I.
Also was here as a child and not eaten, so...
Look, that doesn't prove anything. We'll figure it out, I swear.
All right, we'll get you your scoop, I guess.
That's all I'm here for.
Now I'm having this serious crisis of self. Like, was I actually eaten?
Richter's like,
I think that's something you would remember.
Yeah, he doesn't eat children. I would probably know. I'm her nephew. My twin sister's inside.
Well,
All right,
then,
well, where's the first place we're gonna look?
well, I'd like to see Bob, but we can go talk to Alundra first in case we fall into this bottomless pit.
Fair enough.
Well, there's also Artemis and Rena right over at that fruit stand.
Artemis. And do I recall if I know this person?
Yeah, Artemis is. Yeah, she ran the food truck. She's been running it for a long time. Artemis Longtooth. You would actually know her. Yeah, she's she's a werewolf. During probably one of your stays, you probably saw her even serving food.
Is she currently in wolf form? I just need a visual here.
No, and where you kind of can, if you look over in that direction, you do see her like peek out, and she's kind of in her apron, kind of hairnet, probably tattered a little bit, but she's mostly serving folks and taking taking gold or taking gold and silver and whatnot. And the people who are leaving, you do notice that those who order food are each given like a special cloak with the food truck's logo on it, which is a silhouette of a wolf howling at him.
Well, we could use some eats maybe, and that cloak looks nice.
Ah, yes. Brain fuel, correct? I definitely could use some of that.
Sure, I could eat.
Well, shall we?
Let's head over.
Make your way over to the food truck. It is you kind of hear a low howl echoing from inside as the smell of eggs and meat, chicken, just even bacon fills the air. And as you do, you see, as you approach, just woman pops out and shaggy hair, but it's in a hairnet. It's got apron with grease spots on it and kind of a shirt underneath, torn a little bit. Notice faint scars, and he's like, four of you. What will we be having today?
Before I get anything, where do you source this meat from?
The farmers of Shining Falls are pretty good about giving us special deals. We've also recently started a special plant burger and plant steak as well. The bacon does come from Waterdeep, though I haven't had a chance to try it yet.
A lot of children going missing in Waterdeep these days. A lot of children.
I mean, it's Waterdeep. What do you expect?
Okay, I'm just asking.
Children.
Are you getting to the bottom of that one too?
We're figuring it out, right?
Wait,
Day after day, time after time.
children are going missing.
They're always going missing in Waterdeep.
Oh. Someone should probably find them.
Hey, look, I just write about it. I'm not actually going out here saving lives.
Ah, yes, a journalist.
Oh, of course. I write for the magazine. There's nowhere to hide. We're talking to a real bona fide werewolf right now.
Well, are you going to interview them, or are you going to order some food?
I guess I'll order food. I mean, probably not children.
We don't have children on the menu, just saying.
Not that you know of. I think I'll go with the plant-based meat.
All right.
I'm really sorry about all of his hags eat children racism. Like, that's so inappropriate in this day and age.
I mean, I can understand why. And look, Sylvia has her fair share of enemies and people who don't like her, but it's not for eating.
If you're gonna dislike somebody, dislike them for something they've actually done.
That's right. And she pauses and stops. Nope, not gonna admit that.
That's all right, you know.
Like what?
What Sylvia does on her own time, that's not our business.
That's what sounds like motive.
Look, and she's dating one of the town watch. She's probably not going to. I'm not going to try anything.
Well, that must mean she's very law-abiding.
Wait,
The
he
town
takes out a quill, starts writing stuff down.
One of the town watch?
This
That
might be the juiciest
feels...
scoop
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, I think.
Is that-
yeah.
Is that new?
Oh no, they've been going together for about a couple. Heard they were planning some trip, but they were supposed
Trip to where?
Waterdeep. They were gonna go see.
Oh.
They were gonna go see your sister.
And was before this trip the last time you saw either of them?
Yeah, that was about. Last time I saw them, they were discussing traveling. It was about
And about how long ago was that?
4 days ago.
All right, well, I'll get the house special.
All right. Bacon and eggs.
I am feeling a little peckish as well. Do you have any saltines or perhaps some crackers? Light on the stomach.
Yeah, no, we got some.
I don't think I've eaten in like 3 days. And I take this cracker as she gives it to me. Take one of like this mouse-sized bite and go, I am full. Thank you so much.
Big eater here.
There's some crackers.
Yeah, it was. That filled me right up.
And then the plant cake as well. Here you go.
For me?
Yeah.
Thank you. How much do I owe you?
That's on the house. I heard you. We heard you was coming.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And speaking of which, she goes back for a second, comes out, and brings out 4 different cloaks: red, silver, blue, purple. Yeah. Probably don't remember, but anyone who eats from here gets one of these. Not magical or anything, just it's a way to advertise.
Well, thank you. Flitty takes the cloak and kind of folds it up, looks at it, and thinks this isn't gonna match my outfit. So they shove it into their bag.
Without style or questioning, Vincent will immediately put on one of the cloaks, probably the one that clashes most with the attire he's currently wearing.
Now, as you do this, a group of children comes up with their caretaker, who appears exhausted. And then Artemis is like, "Pardon me for a moment," and the caretaker and
The missing children!
There they are. Oh, I might have to get interviews later, but I gotta stay on task.
I mean, there are more than just a few children in the world. You know that, right?
There are.
Yeah, like lots. Like everybody was a child at some point. I know that's kind of crazy, but everybody.
Admittedly, I don't get out much.
I see you're about to interview your first child.
Yeah, it would be a first time. It's rather intimidating. I think I'll stick with the werewolves. Speaking of, you said the last time that you saw Sylvia was 4 days ago.
yeah, 4 days ago.
You said there were some things about her you didn't like.
Oh no,
What were those
I
things?
got no problem.
You
Just
sure
some of
you
the-
have no problem with her?
Just some of the townspeople.
Some of
One-
the townspeople have a problem with her.
Yeah, one in particular, this guy named Rislin Grovewing. He's one of the nobles. His uncle kind of leads the town. Him and Sylvia don't quite get along.
Where can I find this dirtbag?
I believe he's actually inside looking in the lobby.
Oh,
Oh.
Sorry, could you repeat the name one more time?
Gristling Grovewing. Discord.
cool.
maybe you're onto something. All this talk of kids missing in Waterdeep and the plan to go to Waterdeep. It's coming
All
together.
lines up perfectly.
It all adds up.
How do we know that she didn't just go to Waterdeep if she was planning on going to Waterdeep?
Well, did she
What?
take her Night Watch boyfriend with her? Is he still about?
Guess we should ask him some questions too.
I
Where
haven't
can we
seen him
find the
either. I haven't
boyfriend?
Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
seen
go
him
ahead.
either, but apparently her stuff was still here, so at least that's what Victor
It's
told me.
strange. Still, like, the first suspect is always the boyfriend.
Agreed.
That is true.
I think that we need to put your interviewing skills to good use. And
It's usually the second suspect though. Usually it's demons, fairies, then it could be any other creature of the night. Then after that, we take that category, and then following that it's the boyfriend. Yeah.
we don't know that the boyfriend isn't. I mean, Sylvia's a hag. We don't know that her boyfriend isn't something.
That's a
Maybe the
phenomenal
suspect
point.
is a creature of the night and the boyfriend.
I get a little shifty-eyed at the mention of Creature of the Night, but nothing other than that.
When you mentioned demon, he goes, no. Her and Bob are cool. Bob just got a raise.
That's right. Bob is the demon. Sometimes you forget these things. It's been quite a few years. All right, well, we should go have words with this Grisling Groveland and then try and find the lover.
So you make your way into the lobby then?
Sure. Yeah.
Alright, you go into the lobby. At the lobby, visitors are walking around gasping and admire the various grisly trophies Sylvia acquired, as well as commenting on the odors that come. And you notice at the front is a halfling girl or halfling young woman in a sweater, sitting on a floating broom, reading out loud from a book, and occasionally glancing at the customers, shouting, "No touching!" And as she's doing this, she's also ignoring a kind of a stout, gray-haired dwarf with, just his really, really high hair, but it's really neat and really smooth skin. He's like, I don't get it, you just kind of hear him go, I don't get it, Krista. You leave this place, you're my queen. And then she's just like, mm-mm. And as she's on her broom, she's like slowly floating away from him. Come upon.
I do have a question. You said this room is covered in grisly trophies?
There's kind of grisly trophies that are scattering around. So you see a brain in a jar. You see what appears to be a sign that says Etten with one head, but it's just a muscular ogre, and you can see him move occasionally. There's that skull that the little boy was talking about. There's also Sir William's banner from the Blood War, but it's actually just a normal banner with a yellow triangle painted on it. A trap sitting in a bottle, and a sign that reads demonic scarecrow heads, but they're scarecrows with red eyes.
Okay.
Rune is very into the decor in this space.
Flitty looks at the book that Krista is reading and tries to decipher if they know what book it is.
Roll an Arcana, investigation, history, or perception, whichever's.
I'll go Arcana. Oh my gosh. 8.
You kind of gather it's because there's a little bit of magical energy radiating from it, so it's a tome. It's a magic tome. Probably could guess it's maybe her spell book.
So they walk up to Krista and say, "Ah, yes, the tome of magical things. I know that one."
Yeah, it's really neat. She shows you, and it's there's kind of ancient writing, but she's also has her notes in it. Yes, it's really great. Really great. Oh, it's so great that you're all here. And she's doing this as she's kind of leading you, kind of moving toward you, but kind of leading you away from Grislin, as he's just like kind of now wandering the lobby.
It is great that you're still here.
Yeah, Aunt Sylvia. I mean, Richter and I. She just, we just love coming back to this place and helping her out.
So are you worried that she's vanished?
I am. As the show must go on. The show must go on, and we got to do our best. And don't touch that, she says to somebody who's trying to take one of the caps off the shelf.
Let's
You break it, you buy it.
Flitty goes and starts to scold this. Is an adult or a child?
It's a child.
You must respect things that aren't yours, child.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, we heard there was this grizzling guy that had a bone to pick with Sylvia. Figured we should have some words with him.
Him and Aunt Sylvia never got along. And as you say that, Grislin kind of turns to you and kind of puffs out his chest and, well. It isn't the intrepid adventurers come to save the day. I am related to the Gauntlet of Shining Falls, This place is soon going to be mine.
Yeah, a little bit easier for you to get with Sylvia out of the way, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, her and we're going to meet later, and she's going to sell her land.
So you know where she is.
I haven't a clue.
Well, where are you planning to meet her?
I'm going to meet her when she gets back.
You're certain she's coming back tonight?
Tonight, tomorrow, could be any time, really. I don't mind coming back to this place every day. It's got a great view. He says he's looking at. That's all right.
Flitty leans over to Ruin and says, "I don't think it's him."
What is it about Sylvia that you really don't like?
Well, this place is an eyesore. People come and go, adventurers like you, not really contributing to the economy of Shining Falls. This place could really help the community. If I took it, I could turn it into new housing for, the older families who've been here for a long time.
I would like to say it's kind of rude of you to assume I'm an adventurer. I barely leave my own house.
Yeah, I'm about the same, actually.
Not an adventurer, I'm a journalist. You better get that right.
Oh, a journalist.
You can call me an adventurer.
Adventurer and company.
So 1/4 correct.
But whatever you are, you're not from around here. And that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make things better for the people in the community.
Yeah, well, if you were gonna get rid of Sylvia, what would you do?
I don't know. I'd probably use something. Probably use something against her. Probably.
Like a bottomless pit?
I mean, you could throw her down there. She knows the secrets. You do lots of things. You could trap her in a room with the monster.
Thought about this a lot, haven't you?
I've thought about it a lot.
I see. You finally did it. You finally got rid of her.
I have no idea what you're talking about, boy. You just keep You just keep asking me these questions. Ask what I would do, and I give you an answer. You know, as
So
a writer,
how-
you should appreciate that. You should appreciate some creative things. Now,
How
if
are
excuse
you
me, I'm gonna go visit. I'm gonna go look at that brain in the jar.
Does it feel like he's being straight up with me?
Roll an insight check.
Sure thing. That is a 6, but because I'm an inquisitive, it is a minimum of an 8 plus. So that's 13.
I'm gonna say. I should have said this to you. I'll say you get advantage because you really were kind of packing deep.
Still a 13.
You kind of get the feeling that he's not being straight with you in certain ways. Anyone else is welcome to make an insight.
Can I actually do a spell?
Sure. What's the spell?
Do I know what Sylvia's voice sounds like?
Yes, let's do that.
I want to have I have thaumaturgy, and I want to have her voice come from the entrance of the library or the Ripley's area.
The lobby.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I should have said this too. There is an ascending staircase. Floor.
Okay. Yeah. So from the, I guess from the top of the stairs, then.
Okay.
Just say let's see. Ah, it's so good to be back.
Yeah, everyone in the lobby for a moment, you just hear, it's so good to be back. And he's like, what the? How'd you get out? And he like screams this, but then he stops and he's like, oh man, I have no idea what you. And he's looking. His eyes go to the second door. Sorry, the second floor in the staircase. And now he's like sweating bullets. I don't know what you. I don't really know what that was.
Dazarin puts out like a hand for a fist bump towards you, but he's like way too low to the ground comparatively to where you're at, so you probably don't notice that.
Okay.
Yeah, DM inspiration.
Yeah,
for
they
that.
continue
That
to
is-
look up.
Because and as he says that too, yeah. Krista starts to approach him. Well, what do you like? What do you mean by that? He's like, I don't know nothing.
Seems like we've found the smoking gun.
It appears so.
I distinctly heard, how did you get out?
Out of where?
And he does that kind of villain thing where he's like, out of where? You're never gonna find her.
Flitty like leans down and looks him right in the eyes with their pink eyes. And just can I do intimidation or something?
Go for it.
Okay.
She's in the
13.
pit, isn't she? Hate that pit.
You rolled a 13.
Yes.
You rolled 10. So I was like, she's trapped on the second floor.
Ah, yes, a lead. You know what that is, Davlin? I'm so sorry. I keep
Of
forgetting.
course.
Dazarin.
We'll have to follow this lead. We'll have to get to the bottom of this like we started.
We're going upstairs.
Okay.
That's the bot. Never mind.
And then we'll have to get to the bottom of those stairs one day.
Yeah. What shall we do
there's
with him?
Yeah.
When there's
First
a
we have
top,
to
there's
up,
always a bottom.
Then we have to come back down. Exactly.
Yes. Krista, keep an eye on this one, please. Don't let him leave.
Okay.
That's the okay.
And she
doesn't care.
starts to tie him up, and he's like, well, and then she just like delivers a step punch and knock.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and she'll say, yeah, the second floor. she goes, there's 5 rooms up there. We're usually never allowed up there. So, or there's 4 rooms. Be careful.
One room for each of us. We shall be careful. Thank you.
Go up to the second floor. And as you do, unlike the first floor, it's bare walls. There are signs, warning guests, asking them to return to the main floor. You do kind of see a little whiff of steam and some coffee coming from one of the second room to the left. And then and then on the right-hand side, there's a door that's opened a little bit, and then there's an opposite one, the first door on the left that says "Do not open."
Well, it's obviously rude to open the one that says "Do not open." So,
If I've learned
Yes, we shouldn't
anything
touch that one.
from investigative journalism, is you always open the door that tells you not to. Go where no gnome has gone before.
Is it respectful to do that in somebody else's house?
Absolutely not. But we'll do it anyway.
Perhaps we should at least knock.
My parents always yell at me when I go into rooms clearly labeled "Do not go into them."
And it's just rude.
I've just taken to not reading signs, and they can't stop you.
But like, if this is Sylvia's place, then she put the "Do not enter" sign there, and she'd probably want us to enter if it was like to save her life.
That's true. That's good thinking.
That is a good point.
I think we can ignore it this time.
Yeah, it fits my narrative, so I like it a lot.
It would make me feel infinitely more comfortable if we at least knock on the door first.
I can agree with knocking, but I want to say, if I were trapped in a room, I would not hang a "Do not enter" sign outside of it.
That's true. That's a good point. Could be a red herring. Trying to get us off the trail.
It's never the first door, is it?
It's never the first door. It's also never the last. It's always the third.
So somewhere in between.
2.5.
Never thought about the half doors. It's good thinking. Got a good head on your shoulders.
I never see the half doors. All right. Shall we knock on this "Do not enter" sign?
Please.
All right. There's a moment of silence, followed by a voice that is not familiar to you. Come on in.
I don't like the sound of that.
I don't like that it was.
We might want to like be careful about this.
Look, honestly, at this point, I think we should respect the sign.
It seems perfectly safe. They told us to come in.
Yes, we have permission to go in. I'll take the first step. Freddy opens the door.
None of us are vampires, right? Right?
Not that I know of.
We were.
Look, I know that I wear all black and I'm really pale, and that is a really harmful stereotype against goth people.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you. You're quite lovely.
She's probably talking about me because it looks like I haven't aged in the last 30 years. So,
Must be it.
I'm gonna head in.
All
My
right.
character's not smart enough to be like, this is crap.
no.
Yeah,
in there.
the door's not trapped. You open the door, and it's a room with yellow walls, and there's a glowing circle on the floor, and in the middle is a thank you, Uber Shouts with the rate of 31.
Ooh, Uber.
And as you do, you see this kind of slender imp with one eye, and he's yellow as well. And he just kind of turns to you and chuckles. Hello. Don't look like any of the staff here.
Astute
We're
observation.
contractors.
Contractors, huh?
Yeah, we don't.
And we don't
normally
exactly
here.
work here. I mean, we're visiting workers. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we're just here for one job. Sylvia hired us. It's like 1099 stuff, you know.
Hired. Okay, hired. And he does that with air bunnies. Hired. Yes. Well, probably noticed I'm kind of trapped in this circle. Maybe be a pal and help me out here.
What do you need
okay.
help with?
Oh, I just need
I'm
to.
not going to say yes or no.
Oh, I just need to be released from this circle. See, Sylvia wanted to use me in one of her attractions, but people kept taking me out of the house and kept saying that I was destroying things that they're
So that's where all the children have been going.
children.
Is it the bottom of the well?
You mean bottom of the pit? No.
Yes.
No, Bob is just too lazy and content. He just operates that thing with like any good work. I specialize.
Can I do an insight check?
Go for it?
Because this is not super believable.
Guidance.
Okay. Oh, that's wait, what's my plus to that's a 27.
Ooh.
That's okay, D.
Oh, what are you trying to insight exactly?
Whether or not he I want to know if he's lying about why he's in this circle, and whether, I get the feeling that maybe we should actually just leave and close the door again. Forget that this ever happened.
You feel like he's telling the truth, but you get a sense that he's dangerous. Okay. And I'll say yeah, that's dangerous. Like, you should not free this being at any cost.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that as contractors, whether or not you're in this circle is a little above our pay grade. So, we maybe should get going and let a manager or something deal with you.
Or
Sure.
at least ask Sylvia first.
But don't you want to find Sylvia?
Oh, we do. That's why we're here.
Right. Well, if you
Do
maybe
you know where she
help me
is?
out. If you help me out, I'll help me. I'll help you.
Well, what do you know about Grislin Grovewing?
Grislin. He's one of the misguided people from the. Doesn't like Sylvia. Doesn't. So he and I kind of struck up a deal.
Elaborate.
Well, in exchange for freeing me, I would give him the ability to take down this place.
But you don't look very free, do you? So it didn't seem like the deal turned out too well for you.
No, he's not here. I heard him downstairs, but he's not.
So how do you know where Sylvia is?
Let's just say Grislin talked to me.
I see.
Well,
Story's not adding up.
you can tell us where she is, and when we find her, we can see about getting you free.
Roll a persuasion check.
Ooh, 16.
He thinks about it for a moment. He's like, okay, I'll bite. She's second door down.
Haha, the second door.
This one counts as a half, so it's 2.5. I think you were onto something earlier.
Ah, yes.
I suppose we'll come back for you at a later time.
Take care. Here's a snack. Stay hydrated.
I'm pretty sure they normally dine on children, so I don't know if they're gonna like that. But unless the meat was
I am
children.
not going to give him
Yeah.
a child.
Imps
I don't know.
don't.
Kid downstairs was behaving pretty badly.
That's true.
I'll give
Good
the
point.
remainder of my saltine.
He takes the saltine and eats it.
That should be like, judging by how full it made you, that should be like a month's worth of meals, right?
Yeah, that thing seemed dense earlier.
Yeah, as you say that,
Looks like
he-
a whole cracker.
Yeah, as you say that, he expands and like he all of a sudden can gut. Oh wow, this is unbecoming of me.
All right,
Maybe work that off while you wait for us.
it's true. There's plenty of room for sit-ups in that little circle you got there.
All right, to this second door.
The second
and
door.
half door.
Yeah, you go down and there's the. You gonna open it, go inside.
I'd like to knock on this one just to be polite.
All right, knock. Go ahead and roll a perception.
Ooh. 19.
19. You hear something moving. As it moves, you also kind of hear a little bit of rattling, like footsteps. But then, you also like hear stone move a little bit. Like it's like the force of the footsteps are causing them to kind of shake a little bit.
Huh.
This feels a
Well,
little
there's
suspicious.
something there.
You know, did anyone ever get the feeling that imp may have been trying to trick us?
Yes.
Now that I think about it, that's a possibility.
I
You're
would
saying yes? You
Two.
sure?
That guy's definitely extremely dangerous. Like,
It's good to be suspicious of everything,
Yeah.
honestly. Doors, windows, imps in circles that are holding them captive. Children, especially children.
Oh, yes, the children.
well, it's because kids are unpredictable. Like
It's true.
imps.
also extremely excitable. Before I entered this room, or before any of us entered this room, may I cast a spell?
Go for it.
I would like to use one of my spell slots to cast See Invisibility.
Ooh.
Okay.
Lasts for an hour. I figured it might help. My eyes kind of glow like this eerie blue color for a moment.
Well, the imp told us to go in this room.
Flutie looks around to see if there's any like broom or some kind of thing to push the door open with.
You can just open.
They're afraid of touching the door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's you kind of find a broom a few feet to the left.
Okay. So they turn the doorknob, grab this broom, and just kind of stand back and jab it open.
Everyone's like hidden behind one of your legs, like peering out.
All kind of hearing.
You open the door and it's akin to like a storage room, and it's full of statues. Many of these statues, they have like a horrified expression on their face, as if something's coming after them or they'd seen something really scary. But there's 12. I don't know, Stu, but you noticed a couple more statues. One that looks like a halfling in a watchman's uniform, who's grabbing a sword, and the other who looks like like a hag who's like really angry, like she's yelling at somebody.
I mean, do we recognize the hag?
You'd recognize this as Sylvia.
Yeah. Honestly, the statues that Sylvia got commissioned look phenomenal. That looks just like her when she's like really pissed off. And that
It really
was
does.
her assistant when I met her.
Do you think we could bring the statue downstairs and be like, we found her, and they'd believe us?
I mean, it's a very like realistic, lifelike looking statue.
Rune is just like
As this is going on too, you also
statue.
there's one more
Saw a
thing because
statue.
as you see this, you also see kind of this reptilian, kind of this monster, kind of this reptilian, kind of this like bluish reptilian with spines coming out of the back, and
What's a snake?
it sees you and it's coming your way.
Now that
Freddy
one
throws
looks
the
very
ball.
lifelike.
What are the chances that I would, from reading or whatever else, recognize what type of creature this is?
Go ahead, roll history. Yeah, history with advantage.
That was right off the edge of the desk. Try that again.
That's how I roll dice. I throw them in sparks.
So 21.
Oh yeah, you recognize this is a basilisk.
Okay. I'm immediately going to be like, okay, don't look at it. Don't look at it. These things turn people like, and like I'm turning away. Is it still just coming straight for us?
It's coming toward the door.
Okay.
Close the
Is
door.
it
Like
Close the
that
door.
one tell where we can look at it through a mirror.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but we need to not look at it.
Okay, we'll play it safe.
Makes me
Close
want to
door.
look at it more.
Do we close the door? Close the door. Close the door.
Okay.
All right, you close the door and you kind of feel it stop and hit and try to like hit it, and it. Yeah, it breaks down the door. So now it's it's in the hallway. Yeah, so let's roll initiative.
Oh God, look away.
Oh boy.
I've had plenty of practice by not reading signs.
Do you want initiatives typed in chat, or do you want us to just tell you, or like in Discord, or just tell you?
Go ahead and tell me.
It's a 6 for me.
5 for me.
Let's see, 22.
10.
Apologies. Let's. I'll say your name. Just give me your initiative. Vincent.
10.
I got Dazrin, Rune,
6.
and Flitty.
5.
Dazrin, you go first.
All right. Well, I don't want to be looking at this thing. But is it next to my allies currently, next to my friends?
Yes.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna attempt without looking at it. I've got a general idea where it's at. To just try and take a little swing at it. I'm gonna pull out my rapier. It's basically a sword cane, and just try and take a swing. That is a 17 to hit.
Well, that hits.
Alrighty. That is 11 points of damage with the sneak attack.
Now it gets to go. Dazrin, your rapier just stabs it too. It's gonna turn toward. Flitty. I need a Constitution 12 DC saving throw.
Oh, okay. Oh, 12 exactly.
All right, that makes it. You're fine.
Okay. Sweet.
It's turn, Vincent. You're up with Rune on deck.
All right. I'm panicking at this point. In my mind, this is a snake. I'm already afraid of snakes. I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at it in an attempt to like slow it in place. Uh, 14?
14 misses.
Oh no. So you get these like spiraling icicle patterns going on the floor where I've missed, and I'm just going, ah!
He kind of shakes it off. Now it's Rune's turn.
All right. Can I get a wisdom saving throw from
What's the DC?
14?
14. It failed with a 12.
All right. Rune doesn't look at it, but like in its general direction is just like, you're a terrible basilisk. You'd be a better purse or wallet or bag of holding, as he casts vicious mockery. Oh, for 1 point of damage of psychic damage.
I thought it was a good mockery.
Mm-hmm.
And that does something else. Then
Disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. Yes. Sorry, I hadn't played a bard in a while.
Okay. All right, next up is Flitty.
Okay, Flitty is going to use Inflict Wounds. And so it's a spell slot, I think. Yeah, and it's range is touch, so they look kind of like at the basilisk where the feet would be,
Okay.
and head toward it. That is a 13.
Okay, that misses. Oh, wait. Inflict Runes, that's a touch attack, or is it?
It is a touch attack.
Okay.
Okay, dang it.
Top of the round is Dazrin's.
I guess Dazarin's just gonna keep slashing, not really looking. He's screaming at this point. He's just yelling. I'm a goddamn journalist. I ain't cut out for this. That's a nat 20.
Oh, yeah.
So
Apparently you are.
I guess I'm better at this than I thought. Gonna make a hell of a story.
The title of the story is just
So, 24 points of damage.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this thing is looking bloodied. It's going to try to bite you. And misses. Vincent, you're up.
all right. Geez. Yeah, just gonna try to Ray of Frost again. Kind of like wildly doing this stream of cold across the doorways and stuff like that, trying to hit it. 20 this time, though.
It hits.
Uh, 7 cold damage.
All right.
And its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay, well, may not have to worry about that. How do you want to do this?
Ooh.
Fitting for this basilisk that's been turning people to stone to just kind of be turned into an ice block in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, as you watch, the frost comes over it, and it no longer. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in so far. We are going to take a 5-minute break. Right back.